Hey everybody, welcome back to Rachel Reads. My name is Rachel. I love to read and write Christian fiction, and today I'm doing 2 book tags. So let me explain. I'm currently in the middle of filming the Ilion Chronicles vlog, and I thought I'd be done by Sunday, but considering it's Friday as I'm filming and I just started book 3, I will not be done. This series is so good, but I won't be done by Sunday. Unless some miracle happens, I won't be done. But if the miracle happens, then you might get an extra video. Might. Just saying. But I was tagged in 2 different tags, and I'll get to the second one later. But the first one was Once Upon Another Time book tag, and that was from Faith, Family, and Fun Reviews. And these are some really fun questions, and it's definitely a chance to reach out to a lot of different booktubers, and it's really fun prompts. So yeah. So the first prompt is name your favorite Christian novel from a different time. So for the dystopian, y'all know I'm gonna go with this book. I talk about it so much. That is the Out of Time series by Nadine Brandes. This is such a good dystopian series. There's so much I could say about it and so much I love about it. It has really great faith content, but for dystopian, I picked this. Y'all know I love it. It's essentially if everyone had a clock telling them the day they would die, except our character shares a clock, and then there's this whole wall she goes over. So yeah, I would highly recommend checking it out. Then the historical I would pick for a book from a different timeline is A Midnight Dance by Joanna Davidson Politano. Y'all know this is my favorite historical novel, probably. It's my favorite by her so far, and I really love this. But this is about Ella. She is a ballerina, and essentially her mom and her history of her mom is a mystery, but she has these red shoes her mom left her. So she's trying to figure this mystery out along with the help of Jack. The next prompt is name a historical couple whose love would last in today's time. I'm going to go back and steal an answer just because I love this book, but that would be Jack and Ella from A Midnight Dance. I love them so much. They are one of my favorite couples ever. I think they're so beautiful, and they have such a unique storyline, and the epilogue is so good, and I really did not see it coming, but I really enjoyed this, and it's just so good, so sweet, and it's very lyrical, and yeah, I just love it. Next prompt is name a couple from a contemporary Christian romance novel whose love would have endured in the past. My favorite contemporary couple who I think would have lasted in a historical timeline would definitely be Paige and Tyler from the Paige Alder series. I know Lindsay from BFCG. She loves this trilogy by Erin Mangum, and it's also my favorite. I love it. It was the first one I read by her. I literally love it so much. It's so good, and all of Erin Mangum's books are really good. But this one is definitely my favorite trilogy. I love everything about it. And Paige and Tyler are such a strong couple, and it's very a God-centered relationship. So I think they most definitely would have lasted in a past timeline. The next prompt is share your favorite book setting from a different time that you would enjoy spending one day there. The Hidden Prince by Tessa Afshar. This one is set during the time of Daniel, and I would have loved seeing Daniel and seeing that how everything was working. And the last prompt for that book tag is share a Christian booktuber who you can see hanging out with a character from that book and why. The book must take place in another time. I will say Lindsay from BFCG. I would say I would put her in Jen Toronto's latest book, To Meet Her Match. I think that's what it's called. If not, I'll put a picture of the cover, but it's book 2. I definitely could see Lindsay spending time with this character and in this setting. I think it would be very fun. And yeah, I think they really would enjoy each other's company and in some ways be very similar. So now I'm going to do the Christian romance book tag. I was tagged by Taylor over at Tales and Trees with Tay, and thank you so much for tagging me. I'm so excited to do this tag. There are 10 prompts, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get started with it. But the first prompt is, what book got you into Christian romance? One of the books was Fox by Nadine Brandes. This was the first book by her that I read, and one of the first I ordered by the library. There is a really great romance in here, and I love it. It definitely got me started on that whole journey, but yeah. But the other book would be Life Just Got Real by Sadie Robertson. This is like YA Christian romance, and it's really good, really fun. It is very YA, so if you like YA drama and all that, you definitely could read it. But yeah, this was definitely one of the books that got me into romance. The next prompt is, what Christian romance book changed the way you look at the romance genre? For that, I'm going to say the Alaskan Curse series, specifically book 1, which is just Submerged by Danny Petrie. After reading those first 2 books, I read one by Tracy Peterson that I enjoyed, but this book and series really got me started on the love of Christian romance and the subgenres that it does fit into. Next prompt is, what do you love and hate about Christian romance? Love, the characters. I love seeing the characters' growth and how they grow with each other and grow in the Lord. And I really love seeing their stories and how strong they are and how well done they can be. Hate, I don't want to say hate. Hate is a very strong word. But I tend to not like insta love or very cliche things. And when people try to downplay God in their relationships, or there's not as much, when the romance level doesn't meet the faith level, I really don't like when those mesh together. The next prompt is, what makes a 5-star Christian romance book for you? And for me personally, a lot of faith content. I want the faith content or maybe the plotline to be the main focus. Unless the book is a romance in itself, then typically I'm okay with them being equal. But I like a lot of faith content. I really like them really clean and not a lot of kisses or physical attraction. I really like when characters notice each other's spirit and their character in themselves of how they are. This prompt is, recommending Christian romance to a newbie in this genre. That is Mind the Gap by Aaron Mangum. I love Aaron Mangum so much. This is a standalone. It takes place in London. And yeah, it's just so sweet. It kind of meets those 5-star standards that I talked about. The next prompt is, recommend a Christian romance book to someone who has been in the genre for a while. That book is The Story People by Heather Kaufman. This book so much. It once again meets all my standards, has lots of great faith content. It is really a good plot and a good storyline, but the romance is very sweet and it's a very good, clean story. I highly recommend it. It is very slept on in my opinion, so that is why I would recommend it to someone who has read a lot of Christian romance. Next prompt is, recommend a contemporary and a historical Christian romance. So for contemporary, I'm going to recommend Authentically Izzy by Pepper Basham. This is a 5-star read. This definitely has a little bit more kisses than I personally like, but it's still very clean. It does not cross any lines for me. I would still highly recommend it because there is good faith content in this book, and so I obviously enjoyed it. And yeah, it's a great story and a great contemporary book. For historical, I don't own any of her books yet, but I will recommend any Jen Toronto book. Maybe I'll go with A Match in the Making if that's book 1 in her Matchmakers. I really love this book, and I don't know, it just really surprised me. The ending was a little I don't say odd, but different, I think. But I still enjoyed it because there was still a great romance. And it was just very fun and enjoyable. And Jen Toronto's books always make me laugh, so I obviously enjoy them. The next prompt is, recommend a booktuber who reads or reviews Christian romance. Steve from BFCG, she reviews, in-depth details reviews all her books, which I so appreciate. But she does read a lot of romance. Celestria does. Christy A. Cole. She wrote her own book, but I also know she loves books with romance in them, so I will definitely tag her. Tabitha Gabrielle, she does tend to reviews books a lot, and I know she's read some good Christian ones too. I know Reese from the Writing Songbird also reviews Christian books, and I don't know if all of these people have or haven't been tagged yet, but that is personally who I am recommending, and I love watching their videos. The next prompt is, swooniest male love interest in a Christian romance. Contemporary, Tyler from the Paige Alder series. I really want to reread this so bad, but it's just so good, and I love him. He is such a great character. He is amazing. You learn something about him in the second or third book, and that scene breaks my heart. Every time I read it, oh, I just love it. And he's just a great character. He's amazing. He is definitely a great role model for a Christian romance male main character, and I just love him for it. But the historical is Jack. When I read this book the first time, I was confused and mad, and I felt like Ella did. And then I read it again, and I love Jack. Jack is just amazing in so many ways. He does his best to provide for Ella, and while faith content is very prominent in this book, he is not a Christian yet, but he ends up becoming a Christian, and I love that, and it's just so good. Like, it's so good, and Jack's amazing. He's so good for Ella, and he really learns to become a better man himself, which I love. So yeah, next prompt is recommend a standalone and a series. So for a series, I'm going to recommend the Hidden Identity series by Lynette Eason. This is book 2. Book 1, which is No One to Trust, is my absolute favorite. Y'all should read it. It's so good. I'm sorry if the lighting is changing. It is storming outside. I don't know how much it's changing in the video, but No One to Trust is so good. I love the romance in the book because the couple is already married, but like stuff goes down and a lot of crazy stuff happens, and it's just so good. And for a standalone, I'm going to recommend A Rumored Fortune by Joanna Davison Politano. This is Christian historical romance, but it's just so good. I think if you're gonna start out with Politano, I would highly recommend starting with this particular book, just because the way the characters are for each other is just amazing. It's the first book I read by her and loved it so much. That is it for both the prompts. I've probably been filming a bit too long, but I really want to mention what I'm reading currently, because I'm reading 3 books and then what I'm reading in my Bible, so 4. So I'm going to very quickly go over everything I'm reading. I'm reading Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. I'm reading this for something I have to do, but at the same time, I've been meaning to get to it, and I finally have, and I've started tabbing. I've never tabbed before, so like these 2 tabs mean a lot. I love tabbing, and it's amazing, and I see why y'all tab. It's like so addictive. And then in my Kindle, like I mentioned, I am doing an Ilion Chronicles vlog, so I'm reading Samara's Peril. Yes, I'm reading Samara's Peril, which is book 3. I'm just going to mention their names because I don't want to spoil, and you won't know who they are until you read book 1. Liam and Daniel are amazing. That's all I'm going to say. But I really love all our characters and everything that goes on here, and I'm kind of nervous to continue because of book 2. But I still love it, and I'm so excited for the vlog, for reading it, and everything. And then as an actual book, I'm currently reading the story Hunter. I think it's book 3 in the Weaver trilogy by Lindsay A. Franklin. I haven't picked it up in a while just because I am trying to focus on Ilion, but I think once I finish book 3, I may try to read a little bit more of it. It really depends because I do want to pick it up, and I really am enjoying the series, and I don't want to forget what's going on, but it's still really good. And then in the Bible, we have moved on to more of the major prophets, which a lot of times they are prophecies, or it's recounting things that happened during their life. So like for Jeremiah, it is a mix of prophecies, but at the same time, like the oppression he faced. And then I read Daniel 1 today, which is a mix of introduction, but also Daniel's character. And it's a lot of prophecies and recounting different things that happen. So that is all for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope God bless you today. Remember, I do my very best to post Tuesdays at 12:30, and I'll see you next time. Bye!